Hi, and welcome to our 56th episode. And my name is Sufyan Yousaid, and I'm in conversation with the Dean and Director of 6th Cricket Academy, Mr. Karthik Jeshwanth. Welcome, sir.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Jeshwanth, happy Guru Purnima Day. I wish you the best of good health, and you've been a mentor, a guru for a lot of young children. Your message to them.
Thank you, Sufi, firstly. And Guru Purnima, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my teachers, my gurus, my mentors who have handled me at various stages of my life and taught me the right values. And also a message to the young coaches who are aspiring to contribute to the growth of the individual. Message to me is it's in a very advantageous position that we coaches are in. I look at coaching as a teaching job. I don't look at coaching as coaching, because the difference I think about a teacher and a coach is a coach is one who develops an individual who comes across him and maximum allow to have a positive influence on the athlete. But a teacher is one who develops the athlete or a student in a very holistic way. That is a responsibility which all of us as coaches have towards these children and the future generation, and towards the larger picture, which I always look at this planet as one, and we all have. And this is the message to the coaches of all sports and across the world. Whoever is taking up this coaching, please look at it as a responsibility of yours as a coach to develop a holistic individual, apart from helping him to reach him or her, to help him to reach the best he or she can achieve.
That's a nice message to all the coaches from
Thank
different
you.
teams. We've received many questions in the last episodes and moreover, and we picked two important ones for the day. How can parents shift their mindset from focusing on today's performance and building tomorrow's players?
So the focus should be on, there are two aspects here. How It's a good question, but even from a player's point of view, how should a player look at everyday practice, everyday session, and how should a parent look at it in a everyday? So let me look at the parents' issue now. So I have come across some wonderful parents. So especially in the 6th Cricket Academy where I'm coaching, uh, very rightly they encourage the children. Once or twice a year they come and meet the coaches and they take a homework, as to the
Feedback.
progress, feedback of the progress of their child, which is very right and which is very necessary. So that's the good thing. Then there are some very enthusiastic parents, and not that the previous one which I said are not enthusiastic. They are also enthusiastic. They also want the children to do their best, to reach the best, but they fully trust the coaches. Whereas another set of coaches who are not a majority, I would say a very minority of them, so they are very, very disturbed about what is happening on an everyday basis and all that. So for them, my advice is, when you send a child to the school, you don't see the progress every day. Max, in when a test or an exam happens and the final exam. And then how do you progress him into a school, to a university, to a PhD, and or some specialized courses. So they look at it. Whereas here it is like the parent coming and sitting in the classroom every day and observing what the child is doing and what the teacher is teaching. And one step beyond is certain parents, which is not a good thing at all, is advising the coaches to what to do. Then why did you come all the way here, man? You could have done that at home. So that is not a good thing at all, because the whole time the focus of the player here is more on those things versus learning the skill. So that is one thing. So the parent has to judge whether the skill is progressed in, say, in half a year or a yearly thing, which comes out in form of selections, in form of matches, the performance, and whether you are in demand. If you're doing well, why will any coach or a selector leave you? Why will any coach not send you at the top of the order or bowl you at the most important stages? So these are all the things, unlike many sport like hockey or football. How do you judge somebody who's behind? Like the strikers, you can make out, how many goals they're scoring. but somebody who's defending the goals, how do you judge their performance? So that is what I'm trying to say. Cricket is a game where there is a scorebook where half of it you know where your child is progressing. There is no need for you to track the child or the coach on an everyday basis. Now coming to the second part of the players will, whereas they should have an eye on everyday session. Did I improve or get better from yesterday? So that is very important for a player, but it should not be the other way. For a parent, it's a slightly longer term goal. Maybe give himself 2, 3, 5, 7 years and then see where he's progressing. But for a player, for him to excel after the 7 years, it should be every day easy improving from his own perspective.
Do you think players should have milestones and at different age group? Because and how should parents measure it? Is it right to have good milestones?
Yes, milestones, or probably you can say call it as goals. Say like the short-term goals, the medium goals, and the long-term goals. That is for mainly the players and parents. And for the player, it should be the on the day. What is the goal? You got to achieve and beat what you want to achieve. So that is how you progress. And the milestone or goals which you are talking, yeah, you give yourself 2 years, 3 years. When like when you go to school, you know that this is what you're going to achieve, and then you plan accordingly. Whereas here, if you start looking at every time, every day, if you're going to measure, then like I keep telling that performances are not consistent in cricket, or for that matter in any sport. There are more failures than successes. So it would be, as coaches and parents, it will be nice if we can guide our children to be resilient, understanding that sport does not have happy days on a regular occasion. There are more days where you're down, where you're not performed, where your team is not performed. It is how you get better from there. How do you get up? Or it's just easy to walk away from there. So that is what is the thing. And milestones or setting goals will certainly help.
Thank you, sir. Do like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. We're back on 1st of every month.